In today's video, I'm going to show you how to edit raw photos in Affinity Photo 2 on the iPad. Here we are inside Affinity Photo 2 on the iPad, and normally this is how I import photos into Affinity Photo. I just drag up with one finger the dock here, I move the Photos app to the right hand side, and then I've got a few photos here, and I'm going to choose this one, bring it in to Affinity Photo. Just takes a few seconds and I can swipe this away and that is our photo. But there's a bit of an issue here with Affinity Photo, and I think it might be because my iPad's not an M1 or M2 chip. I've got a 2020 iPad, and the user guide in Affinity Photo 2 says if you don't have an M1 or M2 chip, this won't work for importing raw photos, because this isn't actually a raw file. It's just converted this raw file into a JPEG. And if I swipe across, if I click on this photo, you can actually see up here, it is a raw file. And we're going to talk a bit more about raw files in a second, but it is a raw file. But Affinity Photo won't open a raw file. Certainly on my iPad, mine is a 2020 iPad Pro. So if you do have an M1 or M2 iPad Pro, let me know. Just bring in your photo in, open it up in RAW, and you'll know if it works because it opens it up in a new persona. We are just in the normal Affinity Photo persona, but if we click down here, it'll actually open up in the develop persona. So Andrew, how do you open up a raw photo in Affinity Photo 2? You have to click the open button, you have to import a document, and you actually have to import it from iCloud. And this is a bit backwards, and if I'm being very honest, normally I don't edit my raw photos in Affinity Photo 2. Normally I do that in Darkroom, and we looked at Darkroom a few videos ago. But you're not here for Darkroom tutorials, you're here for Affinity Photo tutorials. So I simply made a folder called Photos. It's the same photo as this one here. I've just uploaded it to my iCloud. If I tap into it, it'll take a few seconds. And straight away, you can see something's different. Hopefully you can see the photo doesn't look as good. It doesn't look as good at all. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But you can see here, it's coming up raw. The persona has completely changed to that developed persona. In my channel, I haven't looked at this persona before. I maybe did in Affinity Photo 1, the app before this, but not in Affinity Photo 2. So Andrew, why does your photo look absolutely terrible? Why should I open photos in RAW format rather than doing the other way? Because the other way looks so much better. And the reason is RAW photos contain so much more information than JPEGs or PNGs or all those different file types. RAW photos contains so much more detail and information. As I'll show you in a minute, I'll be able to bring these colors up and I'll be able to get it to look like the photo before. I'll be able to do so much more than a JPEG. A JPEG is a compressed file and you can only do so much with the colors and so much with the sliders. RAW, there's so much information in this photo and it looks a bit dark. We'll change it up in a minute. And if that's not a good enough explanation to you about what RAW photos are, let me know in the comments below and I'll maybe do a deep dive into RAW photos versus JPEG. Hopefully, if you're clicking in this video, you'll have a decent understanding of raw photos, and that's a brief overview. So now let's get into the fun stuff. On the right-hand side here, if I click this top studio, it's the basic studio, and now we can do lots of fun things. I'll maybe just pinch and bring this photo to the side just so we can see what we're doing here. We can change the exposure. The exposure will increase or decrease the overall lightness or darkness of the photo. If you double tap the dot, it'll bring it back to 0. But as you can see, if we bring this up, that's starting to look a lot better, or a lot better compared to what we had seconds ago. But you'll notice we've lost a lot of detail in the sky. And if we bring it down, you can see this detail in the sky. And this is what makes raw photos so powerful. If we bring this up, maybe just something like that, we'll be able to get this detail back. And it's down here under shadow and highlights. I know I've skipped over quite a few sliders, but we'll come back to them. So if I bring the highlights down, now look at that. If I bring it right down, we'll get the detail in the sky, and this photo is looking really well. We can bring the highlights straight up and it just blows everything out completely. And again, as always, we can use our Apple Pencil or our finger. I'll maybe bring it. I'll maybe bring it right down actually. Now this photo's looking really good and you're thinking, Andrew, you had me worried earlier. Now I'm back with you and it's looking a lot better. So we'll go back up. So we'll go back up to the top here. We've looked at exposure. Black point will just simply make the blacks a bit blacker. And again, just tapping on the dot, we'll put it back. And this histogram's quite good. And we can see where the dark areas are, where the different colors are. And again, this is probably a video for another time. Sometimes I like to decrease, not go mad with the blacks, but just maybe bring it down ever so slightly. The brightness again, we can bring the brightness up or down. For something like this, I think I would just keep it at 0. Contrast, normally I don't like playing with the contrast because it just makes it a bit messy. Double tap the dot. Clarity, again, I don't like playing with clarity. If we bring it right up, we've got this really over-processed look. Oh, we don't want to go to my face. We'll go to one of my kids' faces. And you can see it's really over-processed. And unless you like that kind of photography, double tap. And if we go the other way, it actually softens up the images an awful lot. And if we zoom in my face, it takes away a few wrinkles. Let's see if we bring it back, double tap. Takes away a few wrinkles, not that many wrinkles. It just softens it up, but normally I just keep clarity at 0. Saturation is quite fun, although I normally don't touch it because if we bring the saturation up with this, it overkills it just a bit much. It brings all the colors, it really makes the colors pop. But if we double tap that again, I think it's too much. And again, if we decrease it, it'll make it black and white and take away the saturation. Vibrance does something similar, and for vibrance, I would bring it up because I think it just gives it that pop of color without going mad like saturation does. White balance, for a photo like this was taken in Spain on our holidays, and I can cool it down a little, but seeing we're in Spain, I might just want to double tap, see where we were, and then bring it up just ever so slightly. And that just gives a bit more warmth to the photo. And tint, I never touch tint because it can do things that it just takes it too far. So you have to be very careful with tint. And then we've looked at shadows and highlights. There's other studios in here. We can do lens distortion. We'll just go over it very quickly. We can do lots of mad stuff here. Rotate the image and things like that. We can scale it up or scale it down. And again, for another video, maybe we'll look at all these things. We can go into details more. We can go into curves more. But if we bring it back up to the basics tab, I think that's looking really, really good. Another button that's quite good is this button here. And it's just simply a before and after. That's what we had before. That's what we had after. It's unbelievable, the difference, and that's the power of raw photos. If I took a photo that was underexposed, I could bring it back. If it was overexposed, I could bring it down a little, and there's just so much power with raw photos, but the file size increases an awful lot. So say, Andrew, I'm happy with this. I want to go back into the other persona and touch it up and do different things. Simply just tick this button here. And now we're in the Affinity Photo, as you know and love. If we click the Affinity icon up here, you can see we can go back to the develop persona, but everything we've done is now lost because really you're just in this persona, editing it as a JPEG. By ticking that box, we've made it a JPEG, and now we can do other changes on this photo. That's how to import and edit raw photos in Affinity Photo 2 in the iPad. So there you go. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you learned something. If you did, give it a like. I'd appreciate that. And as always, there's going to be more videos on Affinity Photo coming out. And as I said in the last video, I've got 2 courses coming out soon. There's a link in the description below if you want to sign up and be notified when they're coming out. So keep an eye out for that and an eye out in my channel. And until the next time, thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.